If you start with less than nothing, like I tell everybody that I did, you have to really be careful. Hey everybody, Scavenger Steve back here with you. And the last few videos I've made have been about labor, how to save on labor, how to not pay out so much for labor. It's been said many times, labor will make you or break you. It's a huge expense, and you need to know how to have access to that, where to go to find it, how much you should pay, and so on. So I'm trying to pass these tips along to you. And so I'm going to tell you just very briefly about, and some of these I've talked about in previous videos. So I'm sort of making a culmination here of cheaper labor. You don't want to pay industrial scale wages or union scale wages, especially when you're getting started, because you have almost nothing. If you start with less than nothing, like I tell everybody that I did, you have to really be careful. But there are ways. One of my last videos I talked about moonlighting. These are people that are plumbers or electricians or bricklayers, helpers or journeymen. And after they get off work, they'll work a couple, 3 more hours for somebody else if you pay them a little more money. But you don't have a little more money in what they're earning. If they're earning $15 an hour, maybe they'll accept $20 an hour, and so on. And it's a lot better than getting a hold of the company they work for, which might charge you $80 to $120 an hour. So that's one way, hire a moonlighter. Another way is capitalize on in-house labor. If you have an apartment building and you have 30 or 40 or 50 tenants, or 100 tenants or whatever, ask every one of them if they'd like to earn a little extra money sometime, and find out what their skills are. And you'd be a bit surprised. Maybe their dads or their uncles or their neighbors were one-time flooring installers or roofers or landscapers or whatever. And they know how to do it. They're anxious to earn some extra money, and they'll work for $15 or $20 or $25 an hour, and you avoid hiring their boss, which will charge you maybe $100 an hour. Okay, so you get the idea. And then another way that I used to save a lot on labor, and this is when I was getting started. I still use these. I'm a scavenger. I have these techniques in my head all the time, and you should too, by the way. But here in this community, we have a halfway house, and all of the inmates go from prison to the halfway house, as you know, most of you know, and then before they're released out into society. And so they're dependent upon staying busy. And so I hired a lot of people off and on over the years. Not hardcore criminals, but maybe they were sent to prison because of alcoholism or whatever, or in too many car accidents, and you could go on and on. And some of those people have a lot of good skills. And of course, it's always a temporary thing. It's a few hours to a few days to a few weeks. And then they're off to bigger and better things, of course. And the last category I want to talk about is day laborers. When I lived down in Houston, I didn't live in Houston, but I had a couple of very large apartment complexes down there for several years, Houston, Texas. And every morning, if I needed 1 or 2 or 3 guys to help me paint or to do landscaping or to lay bricks or to pour a sidewalk or do a flooring installation, and the list goes on and on, I'd go to one of the Home Depots. And every one of those Home Depots down there in Houston, Texas a few years back would have these day laborers. Some of them were illegal, some of them weren't. They were just out of work. Some of them had terrific skills, some of them didn't have any skills at all, so you had to be careful filtering through those people. But off and on, I'd get 1 or 2 guys here and there, and so I saved a lot of money on labor. There'd be a few dozen to a few hundred, yes, a few hundred at times, out in front of Home Depot from about 6:30 in the morning till about 9 o'clock in the morning, waiting for somebody to come in, one of the contractors, to offer them a job. So there you go. There are a few ideas I wanted to share with you. And so everything is different from one little community to another. But it gives you some ideas nonetheless. I hope you like this. Remember, labor will make you or break you. You can save tons of money by not having to pay out so much for labor. So there you go. And I hope you enjoyed this. See you next time. This is Scavenger Steve saying so long and reminding you to go seize the day and scavenge your way. See you next time.